How are we going to be able to get? You're not. I'm telling you right now. You're going to be in a reset, a digital reset, whereby you're going to be given credit based upon if you don't exist. You either exist or you don't. You're either productive or you're going to be classified by the United States of America as non-productive. If they classify you as non-productive, you're going to be immediately eliminated off the planet. I'm talking real stuff here. Now, I know, listening to our host, she wants to always be kind to you. She's saying she's not trying to scare you. I don't care if you get scared or not. I'm being serious with you. I don't. Because I need you, and go back with me a few years ago. They used to have a program that used to come on TV where they would lock young children up in prison. They would show them what prison's going to be like. They did it with women. They did it with men, those that were classified to be good people, but they kept finding themselves doing those things that were illegal. So they put them in a program that was called Scared Straight. And I need you to understand, I don't care if you get scared or not. I want to believe that you're going to be scared straight if you get scared. Because it's happening, and there's nothing you can do to go around it. There's nothing you can do to try to skip over it. It's not going to happen. You're going to go through it. And yes, it is very, very scary to those who do not believe that there is only one God and no other God. It's scary because you have no way of realizing if there is or if there's not some would-be future world for you or future life. I understand how scary that can be for a lot of people who are not believers, but I don't care if they get scared. Do you know, my host, I'm going to ask you the question. What is the life expectancy of humanity right now? Can you tell me that? How long do they expect life for humanity to be in existence? Do you know?
Well, it was what man expects it to be is around 70 plus years, just a few years. And what they expect, what Father Yah gave us was 120.
What I need to know is how does that calculate right now for this universe? Do you know what this universe expectancy is? Do you know how long they say this universe that we're on right now is going to last?
Dad, I don't have a clue.
Let me help you out.
I know you know.
Let me help you out. They say, well, listen, I need you to understand what they say. So let me help you out with the they say. And whenever I hear the word they, I want to know is it them, is it the unrighteous, or is it them, the righteous? I need to know because I need you to understand that the scientists now tell you that the life expectancy of humanity, I'm talking about mankind, this universe, they say it's only about now 1 billion years. Do you know how old this planet is?
Billions of years.
10 trillion
Really?
years. Yes. And you were talking about 1 billion. 1 billion. A 1 billion year, they say is left now. One. For the expectancy of humanity. Man, you know why? Because they say that the sun boils down. Every billion years, the sun does a boil down. When it boils down, it dries up all the water in the area, period.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they're saying the world now has 1 billion of a water supply that the sun is heating up, that it can go up to 1 billion years before it boils out. Now, I need you to understand how that equates now to the time frame that you're in. Because they're saying the way it equates now to the lifespan that we're in is 2,000 years. 2,000 years. That's the way it equates to our life. Now, here's what they don't understand, is that 2,000 years has already happened. That was 2,000, when we went through 2,000. So right now, often to our would-be expectancy for extermination, if they might want to call it that, by the would-be so-called elements of the planet, right now, we could be looking at any day now.
Aha.
Because we are past a 24-year period of the 2,000 years that they were actually waiting for us to be terminated. Y2K. Stay with me, people. God Almighty, don't be out there just all so wise and articulate, and you got all of your so-called philosophers, you got your great would-be so-called politicians and those great orientators you got now, you got all those great so-called ministers and popes, and all of them, at best, cannot give you the calculation I'm giving you now because they're asking me for it. They're getting it from me.
Yes, sir.
I told them 2,000 years, it said that he would have already returned. He's here. Not only that, It also told them that in 2000, the year, everything was supposed to boil down. Everything was supposed to end in the year 2000. People was preparing for the 2000. But here's all the idiots that didn't understand what that was talking about was for an end of an old world, for a new world. That's the part they didn't get, okay? So we have already started the new world. However, we have not been presented with the new world. Am I making any sense?
Yes, sir.
To you it is, because you already know that even the book of Isaiah, and the book of Revelation, which everybody wants to dispel, they want to discount, they want to even say that maybe now it's just written as some novel or such, has already told them that in the last days, there will be a new what?
New heaven and a new earth.
Okay, so that new earth is already, it's prepared. It's already prepared. The new heaven and the new earth has already been, somebody help me out. See, if I was in T.D. Jakes' church right now, they would probably be doing the electric slides off. Let me stop. I would at least got one amen. You know what I'm saying? Because they understand that what I'm saying now, I shouldn't have said the electric slide. That wasn't nice. But anyway, they would already understand that what I am saying to them now has already been calculated. That's why I tell everybody that the demon himself, the number should be calculated of 666 during that time. All that has happened. I've already explained to everybody that's a man trying to be a man, trying to be the man. But when you look at it, when it's flip side up or flip side down, you get 999, which is known as the number of divinity or the divine number. But the divine number of divinity is a woman trying to be a man. So that's why it comes back to telling you that it will be a he-she spirit, 69. If anybody understands that. No, it's not for your pleasure stuff. 69 means that that'd be a flip side of a man trying to be a woman and a woman trying to be a man. It's a perverted time. It's a perverted moment. Oh, you don't think 69 is a perverted moment? Well, okay, that's you. Stay with me for a moment. So I'm explaining to you how to calculate everything. I'm not trying to excite you. I'm trying to get you to understand what the calculations of determination of extermination of man is. But we're there. We're already there. And the world could end tonight. It could end. I mean, I'm just giving everyone the truth. I'm just giving them the truth. So when I listen to even, and I get it all the time, I get everybody. Well, I'm worried about the children. I'm praying for the children. I'm worried about the sick. I'm praying for the sick. Well, I'm worried about the weak. I think the women are so weak that I'm praying for. I don't. Because you got to understand right now, in order for you to be able to make any difference, you got to understand that the calculations, the end of the world could be tonight. It could be in the next few minutes. It could be in the next second. As I'm talking, it can go blink and everything be gone.
Yeah.
So that's the calculation that we have right now. Why do you think it's so important for these so-called would-be elites to be out trying to gather up what they deem to be corns or nuts? If they might be a bunch of would-be so-called animals or squirrels, they're gathering their nuts. Because they believe that they have these little secluded area of security that they can go off into underground tunnels, where they believe that, boom, when the earth, boom, they believe it's just going to blow up, explode. Some of them just believe that it's just going to disappear. But they believe that these little compartments that they have placed all over the world under the ground is going to be those areas that's going to be able to survive the impact of whatever's coming to end the world. I know what people be. They look at me like, and he's laughing about it. He must be a mad scientist. But anyway, I'm just giving you the fact of what's happening. I'm not in no fear. The reason why, I'm like,
me either.
We're not in no fear, right? Because we know there's going to be a new heaven and a new earth coming down out of the sky, out of the heavens from God. So we already good, right?
Exactly.
We don't care what happened to the old. I really don't care. Because the way my father has explained to us, what we're going to do, I'm going to be able to walk over from the old earth to the new earth, right? Mm-hmm. After that moment, I'm going to be able to walk back and forth when I get ready from the old heaven to the new earth, to the new earth to the new heaven. I'm going to be able to do that. So I'm not just people stopping. You think I'm crazy? No, you're crazy because you're waiting on a world that they already been giving it up to what we believe to be extermination.
Yeah.
Check it for yourself. Go up online. They will tell you you got about maybe 1 billion years left before the sun again boils down. And when it boils down, it is going to do nothing more than dry up the planet. That's everything around it. No water. Who's going to live without water?
We don't need the sun.
I'm just telling you. This is what they already have calculated, and they have already started preparing for it. But they're not telling the people. And the people running around worried about currency. The people worried about currency. They're worried about new houses. They're worried about new cars. They're worried about whether the children get some new clothes. I just want to know if we got some food tomorrow. They don't care anything about if they're going to be on the planet or not. And they're building prisons for people every day. You know why they're building prisons? Because they know people are about to lose their mind when they find out just how short of a lifespan is left and how much time they got left to be able to just receive those things in their trust. What do you think the people are going to do? Most people are going to start looting. They're going to start murdering. They're going to start raping. Come on, help me out somebody. Stealing. People don't understand. So that's why they're building more prisons. And right now with the migrant move, the migrational move, and people, listen, Americans, you don't get it. You're talking about your southern borders. I already told you got your southern, your northern, your western, and your eastern border right now. Have migrants coming from all of the borders. Joe Biden has got blowing smoke up everybody's rear end. You know why? Because I really think that I think he's brain dead. I think he done got so old, his mind works on one way, drinking coffee and falling off bicycles. Now, stay with me. I'm just messing with him. But I need you to understand, I don't see him having any wave in his brain right now that's working because he's not telling the people the truth. And those politicians are not telling the people the truth. See, I told myself tonight I was going to have a short night with you. I told y'all. See, I told you they're trying to shut me down. They don't want me to talk.
Not going to happen.
I got about 3 dentists that want to see me right now. They don't want. I know it's not because they want to do anything on my teeth. They want to stop me from. Listen, I already know what's going on. I'll see one of them. He ain't gonna be able to do anything. But anyway, another story. I need you to understand that they'll never be able to silence me, not me. I keep telling them I can sound through thunder if I want to. They're gonna find that out. They're gonna say I'm not playing. I can use the voice of a mouse if I have to. I can use the voice of a lion if I want to. They're going to find out I'm not lying to them. I'm serious. I need the Americans to do themselves a favor. There's still the United States call. Welcome to the call. Rise and shine. Let me introduce to you who we are and who I am. We are the World Global Network Reset Restoration Network family. Yes, we are 198 sovereign nations. These sovereign nations makes up now more than 8 billion plus people that are sovereign. And me, I'm Dr. HENDO Henderson, the one that made sure that I put sovereign back on the planet for all mankind to be able to recognize. It is called the breath of life. The breath of life. It comes from God. It is God. It is of God. It will always be God. And only those who reject it will die. Stay with me, God. I shouldn't have told them all of that. See, that's what scares them. But I don't care about them getting scared. I don't. Share straight if you might. If you don't get scared, you don't get straight. You don't get straight, I tell you what you will get. It's called fire in the britches. Stay with me. Because this is where we're at right now. Wow. And they're not even telling anybody. And I know, if they told people, we got about 1 billion years left, so who's worried? They are. Because that 1 billion years for man calculates about 2,000 years, which also gives them a calculation that they've already met that would be so-called deadline. Because 2000 came 24 years ago. So that tells them right now they are in a panic form of living based upon the fact they are actually 24 cycles, or 24 years they call it, from the time that they were supposed to have been eliminated. That's why everybody is so in a rush now. That's why right now it's kind of like the high school that you used to go to. Come on, seniors. You remember when you was a senior in class and you look back at those that were juniors and freshmen? They were getting it easy compared to what you had when you was in that high school, right? They didn't care about anything. They could go in there and mess up the gym. They could stand on the gym, the Whitby so-called logo of our Whitby so-called mascot. You couldn't do that when you was in there. Listen, what I'm telling you is they began to break down not only the standards, but the responsibility. They broke down standard and responsibility every year thereafter. Mm-hmm. That's why we went back to the high school. You noted that the logo is all faded out because everybody's been walking on it. You go over there, you get on the bleachers, you try to pull them out. You can't pull them out because everybody's been sitting up there stomping on them and leaving them out all overnight, and they rust out. Then nobody oil them up. The janitors, they didn't care about anything. Stay with me. The standards and responsibility, it just went away. It dropped. That's why now your White House got a bunch of trailer park trash and niggas that came from the country running it. Stay with me. I shouldn't have said it like that. Y'all excuse me for saying it like that. Can y'all do that? Because I'm going to say it again. Now you got a bunch of white trash and niggas running the White House. They don't have no standards. They don't have no respect. They don't have no honor for nothing. They don't. And then they mad at Donald Trump. Donald Trump, he went in there because you put him in there. But you was looking for somebody with less standards than what you have been dealing with. You didn't like that. You didn't like it when you had someone like Eisenhower in there because he was too military. Everybody in their houses had to be dressed right, dressed. All the trash cans had to be on the right side of the road or we ain't picking them up, period. Now, the trash man comes out. He'll dump your trash on the ground and carry your trash can off. Because he don't have the standards been lowered. He ain't got no responsibilities. He don't care. Your trash, you put it outside, it might be there for 4 days after the time they were supposed to pick it up. You got to call them. What they tell you, I thought it got picked up. No, it didn't get picked up. He took a would-be lunch break, and he decided not to come back and finish the job up because he ain't got no standard, no responsibility. So that's what happened. Right now you go in the bank. You never could have went in the bank before and lounged around, sit down. They be sitting down on the couches in the bank now like they wait for somebody to bring them a pizza. They don't go in, stand in line, or even wait there to get taken care of. They go in the place, sit down on the couch, take out their would-be iPads, their iPods, and they start listening to music and watching video right there in the bank. The banker got to come out and ask them, can I help you? No, I'm fine. How you doing? Well, what are you doing in here? Well, y'all got free internet. So I'm in here, and I'm trying to see the last show. Because they don't have no responsibilities, and they have no respect. They don't. And that's the whole world we live in now. Then you wonder why you go in there and you standing in line at the assistant line, and ain't nobody helping you. Because she's sitting back here eating her lunch. She's eating her lunch, and it's 3 o'clock. They close at 3:30. Why can't she eat lunch like everybody else at 12 noon? Because no respect, no responsibility. So she's doing what she get ready now. And if you go in the hospital at emergency time, you see people in the hospital eating lunch. Around in a hospital where you taking care of emergency patients, you don't know what the patient got. You sitting there, you got a mask under your neck, and you sitting there eating your lunch at midnight. No respect, no honor, no responsibility, no standards. I'm just calling it like it is. Get mad at me if you want to. You go in the airport, it used to be real nice when you went in the airport. Everybody stood in line. Now you don't know where the line starts. You can't find where the line ends. And everybody's arguing about who's first. Y'all can just stand over there because we were here first. No standards, no respect, no standards, nothing. Nothing. You're living in a world now, it's just a trashy world, piece of trash. Like I said, I don't get mad at Donald Trump. E. Jean Carroll is a piece of trash. But right now, she can go into court and win $84 million. You go into court because you have had a crime committed against you, and you can't get $5. Well, are you sure that it occurred at that time, sir? Ma'am, are you sure that's what took place? E. Jean Carroll walks in and talks about something that's supposed to happen when she was 17 and Donald Trump was 24. He is now 74, and she's 79. So how can you explain her getting $83 million? I know she's older than me. How can you explain her getting $83 million? Let me tell you what. No standards, no respect. I'm just calling it like it is. And that's where your world is at. They lowered the standards for everything. And along with the standards being lowered, the respect went out the door. That's what happened. Think about it. Look at it. Look around. I told you what was going to happen after COVID virus. I told you everybody was going in. You had a mask on. You could tell that the people were even being kind just looking at their mask. You couldn't see their mouth. You couldn't see their whole face. But just by the look at the shine in their eyes, it was telling you, oh, they were being kind. Come on in. They were wiping down your baskets. They were passing them to you at the door. I told you what was going to happen. I said right after the COVID, people are going to believe they're out of the woods. They're going to turn right back to worse than what they were before. Now you go in there, you might get a greeter at the door saying, welcome. Welcome to what? Why are you welcoming me? Oh, welcome to Walmart. Welcome to Kroger's. Welcome to Safeway. They don't even want to do that. They might be standing outside the door just before you get in smoking a cigarette. I told you what was going to happen. Smoking a cigarette. They on a smoke break. right at the door because they know they can't smoke inside. So they'll smoke and they'll smoke outside and let the smoke go inside by leaving the door. Because they lowered the standards. No standards, no respect. That's what your government is doing to you right now. No standards, no respect. Your government don't have no standards. Then they mad at Mallory Taylor Greene because she's screaming and cussing in the White House. Everybody's screaming and cussing. What do you mean she ain't the only one screaming and cursing? Listen what she told the House Speaker, shut up until you have a question that makes sense. And then he going to say, well, okay, I got a question now, and it's an intelligent question. And she looking at him like, is this fool crazy or what? Because they have no standards. No standards, no responsibility, no respect. And that's what you're getting. You're getting what you put in there. You're getting what you put in there. And then they're mad talking about people coming straight out of jail and they're giving their right back to vote, and they're the ones putting those people in it. No, they're not. Because, see, the people that's coming back out of jail right now, they done gained standards. They done gained respect. They have. They gained responsibility. See, they got in jail because of sorry people. They done came out of jail. Oh, you better believe they got a vendetta. They gonna tell you that. They got it out for sorry people. Trust me. They got it out for, and I'm with them. They done got out of jail. They got it. They are out to get rid of sorry people. They are. So they're not the ones who's voting those sorry people in the White House. The ones that are already out that are sorry because they haven't learned anything. They don't have no standards. They don't have no respect, no responsibility, and they're the ones who's putting them jackleggers in the White House. I'm just calling it like it is. Excuse me. Host, did I offend you with any of what I said?
No, sir. But you know it's really hard to offend me.
No, but I want to make sure that I didn't offend you because, I'm saying that the standard, they're saying that the standard of living has gone down. No, the standard of a requirement for living has gone down. That's what's gone down. It's not the standard of living. It hasn't gone down. But the standard of requirement for living has gone down. That means people don't expect that much out of you anymore. A lady lives next door to you right now. When she comes out of the house, she's dressed up, her children are dressed up, they get in a nice car, and all of a sudden the first thing that people will say in their door, wow, I can tell you what, I don't know what she's doing, but she really got it going on. They say she. Until the next day when they see her coming home, she's driving and she got her husband sitting in the car with her, and they both go in the house together. And they're like, wow, I didn't know she was married. Why wouldn't she be? Because people don't expect for her to have a husband. They don't. Their standard right now is a lady has to be single, and if she's doing good, she's doing it all by herself. That's their standard. That's what everyone expects. And whenever they find out it's a two-family home, father, mother, children, wife, and the husband, the first thing they start doing is looking at them like they're crazy. They don't.
Yeah.
Because they don't expect that. They don't expect that. They don't expect it. Trust me, they don't expect it. The White House don't even expect that. You know what? Look at the last would-be so-called, I would say, administration. They're not going to get mad at me. They're not going to get offended by me because they know what I'm saying right now is telling the truth. Let's start out. William Jefferson Clinton. What standard did he bring to the White House? He came from a broken family, a mother who was an alcoholic. Excuse me, William. Came from a mother who was an alcoholic. Didn't even know his daddy. If he did, he wasn't telling nobody who he was because he claimed his daddy was an alcoholic. Listen at the standards. That's your standards. And he became the ideal of a would-be so-called man and his wife in the White House. But he himself came from a broken family, a single mother. Stay with me. So, yes, he is going to be all for the single mother laws and all of that. He's all for that because he grew up a single would-be parent in his household, a mother. Next came in George W. Bush. George W. Bush was trying his best to do nothing more than bring some standards back to the White House. And they even said that then. What happened? The world couldn't handle it. It was too much for them. Well, I believe in a man and a woman being a marriage. They couldn't wait to get rid of George Bush. Who did they bring in after that? Barack Obama. Broken family. Single mom. Not knowing who his real daddy is. He claimed he did. He don't know. I'm just telling you, broken family. So what do you expect? What do you expect from a nation that's being ran by people like that, who their standards have been lowered? I don't care what they say. Their standards were lowered. Barack Obama had a standard that had been lowered. I don't care about him and Michelle being together. I look past him and Michelle. I'm looking at the fact of him, his mama, and his dad. That's the standard that went into the White House. He didn't have no daddy. He could care less about that. If it ain't my mama, I ain't saying hi to him on football games. I'm only saying hi, Mom. I'm just telling you, the standards got lowered. When the standards got lowered, the responsibilities got lowered. When the responsibilities got lowered, everything else fell apart. Stay with me, Americans, because that's your nation now. That's what every nation that has patterned themselves after you have recognized that has happened to their nation. And right now, they are crying, and we might say, broken because of you. We never should have listened. We never should have followed those Americans. They're right. I agree with them, but, I mean, their arms wasn't twisted. Nobody held a gun to their heads, as my old auntie would say, and they all fell for it. Well, let's get on the American program. Let's see if our standards will work. No. If theirs was falling apart, what do you think you were going to get? Again, I said, it's like your old high school. The standards got lowered. No responsibility, no respect. You never would talk to your teacher in class the way your students talk to you, or your children talk to their teacher. You never would have talked to your teacher in that manner. Never. Because the standards were higher. The responsibilities were greater. And thereby, you had a better chance to survive. That's why now the world is in the shape that it's in. And it is quickly depleting as we speak. Again, I say it could be the night. It could be the night that it ends, because in all expectancy, based upon the calculations of the 1 billion year versus the 2,000 year, you're already there. You passed that 24 cycles ago, 24 years ago. You passed the day that they were to turn the lights out at the motel. They were supposed to tell you, hey, no vacancy. But somebody kept the light on. I'm not calling no names. Somebody kept the lights on for you.
Yeah, you did.
My advice to you is you better hurry up and get it right. Because the vacancy sign is not going to show up. We just going to cut the lights out. You know, I'm finished for the night. Unless you got, I'm going to take a break because I know you got something for the people. Let us all take a break.
All right, sir. Thank you. You know, family, we're getting ready to go into the new heaven and the new earth. That's why we're doing all this work. I mean, if everything was futile and we knew all this information, we'd have to be crazy to be continuing to work. But we know that there is the new heaven and the new earth coming down from Father Yah. So identifying yourself and getting yourself indexed is in preparation for going into that new heaven and the new earth. Those of you that have indexed, you may not have even recognized that that's why you did it. But that's what your restoration, your protection, and your redemption is for. As everything collapses and goes crazy on this planet, what Yahoshua has brought to mankind is to keep those that are of the righteous together to enter that new heaven and the new earth. This is transition time. But if you're not indexed, if you're not identified, we're not going to know who you are. We got to know our customer. And he already told you the plans of those that the government here in the U.S., their plans for those that they consider non-productive, they're going to execute you. That's plain and simple. Under Obama, he purchased 16,000 guillotines, spread them throughout all the FEMA camps. Trust me, they're not sitting them around. They're not sitting them around the FEMA camps as objects of art. They're planning on using those things, which is why you need to get yourself indexed. You need to get yourself identified. It gives you your internationally recognized diplomatic status as a sovereign principal. It also puts you on a do not detain list from Interpol down to your local police department. In other words, if maybe they thought you might be a non-productive, they might pick you up and put you in a FEMA camp. Well, if you're identified and under the protection of the global reset, they're not going to be able to keep you there. They're not going to be able to do it. And your restoration and redemption is coming back through the Bathsheba and Esther Trust, which you are a beneficiary of at $1 billion in store value credit. Quit thinking currency and coins, because he's already told you there's not going to be any currency or coins. It's a digital system. Store value credit works just like if you had a line of credit at the bank. You went to the banker and said, hey, I need $450,000. I want to buy a new house. Okay, well, you got $1 billion in credit, so boom, here you go. You got your credit, go get your lumber, go build your house. That's how it's going to work, family. It's not going to be currency. It's also not crypto, and it is not CBDC. Both of those things are also fiat, have no value, and are things created out of thin air. The global reset is asset-backed and clean, meaning it didn't come from any sex trafficking, drug trafficking, anything like that. No money laundering. So these are what you have in front of you, family. This is the only lifeboat there is the global reset. You're either part of it or you're not. So for those of you that have not indexed yet, maybe you're just finding out about it, go to our website, SOVCPR.com. Again, that's S as in Sam, O, V as in Victor, CPR, like cardiopulmonary resuscitation.com. Everything you need to know about indexing is on there. It's very thoroughly explained to you. So check out the thoroughness of the website. You're going to get everything that you need to know. So if you're ready, sir, I will go ahead and yield back to you.
How do you hear me?
Clearly.
I want to say this before I get too far gone off the call, because I will not be sleeping. I do still have work to do. But I do want to say this to everyone who's listening tonight. In case you don't know what I just done, I was not telling you everything that's wrong with the planet. I was giving you some advice as well. In other words, I'm saying tonight, however many number of you are listening to me and will take my advice, you have got to be the one that comes and create, or I would say maintain some standards to your life. If you haven't, maintain it. Standards. You must take responsibility. Responsibility, you got to be responsible. Thereby, you must maintain respect. Because right now, every example that's coming at you is just the opposite. Right now, and I'm not attacking our new generation Z, our Generation X, but I have to tell you, they do not have any example whereby they can pattern themselves in a manner to be classified to be responsible. And I'm not giving them an easy way out. I'm saying to them that they got to develop that. The average one of the Generation Z, Generation X people have grew up in single-parent home aren't. They're grown up on the street. I'm just being honest with you. By whatever means, whatever reason they have. Some of them, they lost their mothers when they were young. Some have lost their fathers when they were young. Others, they just come from that family where their mom was too young to even be having them to begin with. But it happened. And right now, the standards are so low out there. Everybody really upset about the would-be so-called Kardashians and the Kanye Wests and all. They don't even understand the average household out there is exactly the same. Mothers growing up, single parents, fathers growing up, being out there in the streets, mothers being in the streets. You got some single fathers, a lot of them. And the standard for living right now is just so low. It's low. Nobody cares about anything. The average young lady right now, excuse me, I don't want to get vulgar, and I don't want to sound like I'm attacking them. But we got the average young woman out there now do not know how to properly care for herself. I'm talking about her feminine side of her world. Hygiene. They don't know how to do it because they were never raised by a mom. They were never taught how to do it. They got a little bit from their aunt. They got a little bit from their grandmothers. But most of the time they had to just rough it on their own, try to figure it out. They don't know what feminine products to buy. They don't know if it's the right one. They don't know if they should use it with their body type or their blood type. They don't know because they grew up either on the streets or without both parents in their lives. They didn't have that structured life. And I'm not giving them an excuse. I'm just saying this is some of the standards, the responsibility that we all need to take, and we need to look into it and think about that. The average young man right now, he don't know what it is to be a man, really. He'll fight you over territory. He'll fight you over possessions, but He has no clue what it is to be a real man. And believe it or not, that's why men like Kanye West have found himself in trouble, because he's been trying to get all that on his own. Yes, his daddy was president in his life. Yes, his mom was president in his life. Had they been together in life, I would say he would even have a greater chance to do what he's trying to do right now. But he's now believing that he's going to be one to fix his standards, and he can get his responsibility back, and he can get that respect back. But he's dealing with someone that she don't know how to do that because her mom didn't teach it to her. Most her mom taught her was that if she had children with a man, keep dealing with it. As long as he's giving you those funds or you getting financed by him, deal with him. That's all she's learned. And that's why she don't care. The average one of them, if you pay attention to the Kardashian house like many of you are doing, you would realize that the majority of them are trying to have their children with one man. Irregardless if they done folded his would-be so-called seed or whatever, they're still trying to use that one seed for everything that they bring into their house. They're at least trying to keep it just one household in that regard, except for one of them, and that, I guess, would be the oldest one. I don't even know them by name. But I know, just listening to the people talk about it. She's the only one, I think, that's got a few people other than her brother Rob. He don't care. He's out there, whoever, or have a child with him. I guess he's okay with that. But you have to understand that these are the standards now that America has set for the people's lives. So I say again, the standard of living is not low, but it's the requirement for the standards of living is what's done got low. Nobody cares anymore. Nobody. We got more baby mamas than we got baby daddies. Face it. Because a lot of the women have given themselves over to be nothing more than surrogate mothers. So they're providing more care. They're providing more space for children to be born. Everybody talking about abortion. They haven't stopped those people. The surrogate mothers don't care anything about abortion because they use their bodies to make money. I'm just calling it like it is, so stop it. They're not marching with you and no would-be so-called our bodies are. They know it's their body and they have a right, but they right just do nothing more than be a surrogate mother and make money. They're going to have as many babies as they can and make as much money as they can. They're not trying to hear that. The standards, people, the standards of living has gone down based upon the requirement for the standard of living. Every now and then, you find someone now saying to a young lady, when are you going to get married? Aren't you thinking about marriage? You don't hear that anymore. You don't hear that. You hear them, oh, you going to stay with him? Or are you going to get with that other guy that you was with? Oh, I don't like him. I think you should get with the other one. That's what you hear now. She don't ever get that. Get in one place. Sit down. Kick it slow. You don't hear that. Girl, you better go out and have you some fun. You mess around and have a baby. They're going to hold you down. You better go while you can now. That's all you hear now. She goes out there to attempt that. She gets 5 babies, and it's your responsibility because you're the one who sent her out there. I'm just giving you some advice. Let's get your standards up. Let's get your standards up. Let's get your responsibility back up. Build your honor back up. Yeah. Because you got it. You already got it. You're just not using it because you're allowing yourself to follow the example in which your government, I'm talking about the United States system, is set up for you to do just what you're doing. Fail. It was set up for you to fail. And that's why they keep giving you all those weak leaders. Weak leaders. What can Michelle Obama bring to the White House for standards to bring the responsibility up for people? She's a mother to those two. They doing anything and everything out there. Everybody can see it now. You might see Leah or Sasha anywhere outside, half naked, smoking cannabis, walking down the street because that's the standard of living. That's the standard of their life. That's the standard that they carried in the White House. That's the standard that they believe everybody should be able to do right now. That's a destruction, not a standard. I'm just calling it like it is. You never would have saw one of the would-be twins of the George Bush sisters. You never would have seen them out dressed like that, smoking cannabis in public. You never would have saw that while they was in the White House. Never. Even when they came out, you ever saw them? Yeah, they hit out. Both of them trying to get families, having their own families, getting their TV shows, sitting back, cooling out, wearing nice clothes. You don't see them out there smoking cannabis, different color hair, wearing see-through outfits. You don't see them doing that. Why not? they had a little bit of higher standards, just be honest with you. It wasn't because they were white and black. That didn't make no difference because their standards were higher. They had a greater standard. I'm not afraid to say that I don't care anything about the melanated people in the United States or whatever nation. Get mad about what I just said. Get mad because I'm telling the truth. The Obama standards were low. And everybody that was in the year 2008 all the way to 2016 had low standards. Excuse me. No respect for nothing and nobody. No responsibilities to nobody and nothing. I'm just calling it like it is. And now, you got to get it back. Every president that you don't put in says that. Low standards. I don't care. Republican, Democrat, want to be a rat, whatever. They all got low standards right now, and that's what you're going to get as an example, and that's all your world going to be, is a low standard world. No responsibility, no respect, no honor. So that Star Spangled Banner can fly all it want to, talking about bravery and all of that honor. They don't have any of that because the standards is in the gutter with everything else. That's where the standards is at. And until it raises standards and its responsibility, there will be no respect. And all the nations are going to make sure that they still do what they're doing now, is move farther and farther and farther away from the United States of America until they no longer exist. I'm just putting it out there. I got work to do. Got to save somebody, somebody's, somewhere, some way, somehow. And because I know he who is and can save everybody, I'm so glad he left me to be a nobody who know that somebody who can save anybody. I'm going to do what he's called me to do. I looked outside my window once again. It's dark out there. So I'm okay with that. So a little old desk sitting out there. It does have a candle on it. Little old man, he's sitting right there, shaking his head. Let's go. I got to go. Excuse me. I'm in a rush. Got to get there. I still got a little light left. Man must work while it's still day. For a night coming, no man can work. So my light tells me it's like day for me. I got to hurry up and get to work. You get an opportunity to get you some rest. I know you worked hard. Don't worry about it. If you got those high standards, keep them there. If you're going to work on them to make sure your standards come back to where they were once upon a time, and you're going to make it back there again, where you're going to have respect, honor, and responsibility, I'm with you. Make it happen. Meantime, get you some rest. Don't worry about it for right now. You got time. New Year. Make it the New Year's resolution. You still got time to get it in. Get you some rest. Close your eyes. You've already earned it. Yeah, you deserve it. And yeah, my Father says you are worthy of it. Get your rest. Peace and love. And nightfall.
Thank you, Yahoshua. And thank you, family, for joining us. Before I sign off tonight, family, I want to say something to you regarding what you were just speaking about, sir. Life can throw a lot of things at you. And in most of our lives, it's far, far away from the walk in the park. I'm getting up in age now, and we talk to friends and family and people that we know. And my husband and I are coming up on our 50th wedding anniversary this coming July. And people look at us as if we're some alien because no one has ever married that long anymore. I can tell you that when you've been married that long, you've gone through hell and back. And often people ask me, what is the key to a long marriage? And I tell them two things: unconditional love and mutual respect. If you can keep those two things, family, and be determined that even when you feel like walking away or running away, that you're not going to do that. You're going to stick it out, talk it out, and make it work. And that's how you get to 50 years of marriage. You don't quit. When things get tough, you don't walk away. And when you come to that 50-year period, family, you find out that the person that you went through hell and back with is the most beautiful person on the planet. And that's what you have to stick with, family. You have to be determined and not let life move you, but you move life with your determination to build those standards. So I hope that gives you some encouragement, family. You know we love you. We always leave you with John 17:14 through 17. I, Yahoshua, have given them your word, Father Yah, and the world has hated them. I do not pray that you should take them out of the world, but that you should keep them from the evil one. They are not of the world, just as I am not of the world. Sanctify them by your truth, Father Yah. Your word is truth. With that, I yield to you, Sister Nadia.
Thank you, Dr. Henderson, Yahoshua Машика. Thank you, Sister Shelley. Благодарим вас, доктор Хендерсон, Яhoshua Машика, Сына Человеческого и Сына Божьего во плоти, за ваши знания, труды для блага всего человечества и мудрое наставление. Благодарим вас, сестра Шерри, за достоверную информацию и помощь в огромной работе. Дорогая семья, уже позднее время и темно вокруг. Пожалуйста, уделите это время отдыху, который вам нужен, чтобы набраться сил на следующий день. Мы всегда продолжаем работать от вашего имени. Мы любим вас и всегда оставляем вам чтение Иоанна, глава 17, стихи с 14 по 17. Я, Яhoshua, дал им твое слово, Отец, и мир возненавидел это, потому что они не от мира сего, точно так же, как и я не от мира сего. Я молюсь не о том, чтобы ты забрал их из мира, но о том, чтобы ты сохранил их от лукавого. Они не от мира сего, точно так же, как и я не от мира сего. Освяти их своей истиною, Отец, я. Твое слово есть истина. До свидания, дорогие. До следующей встречи в эфире. Мир, любовь и прекрасных сновидений вам всем. Nightfall, Dr. Henderson и Yahoshua Машика. Nightfall, Sister Shelley и all brothers and sisters. А теперь заключительное слово по-испански для брата Марко. Rise and shine, Brother Mark.
Rise and shine, Sister Nadia. Thank you very much for that closing aggression. And thank you, Yahoshua, for repeating things over and over and over, so that way I can write it down. Bueno, muchas gracias a Yahoshua por siempre repetir todas las cosas varias veces para que haga esta breve resumen más fácil para mí. Y también muchas gracias a Shelley antemano por brindarme la información la que iba a hablar esta noche. Y bueno, como siempre voy a hacer un breve resumen de algunas cosas que dijeron. Obviamente repitió las cosas varias veces, pero dijo más cosas que yo pude apuntar. Entonces voy a intentar de darles el breve resumen de algunas cosas que dijo esta noche. Recuerden que estas conferencias telefónicas son para aquellas personas que les gusta escuchar la verdad y pueden manejarla. Y bueno, todos ustedes que tuvieron el gran privilegio también de escuchar la voz de nuestro gran maestro Yahoshua, pues verdaderamente son bendecidos, si lo reconocen o no, porque obviamente no todo el mundo logra escuchar su voz. Entonces, y si se oye mucho, mejor, mucho mejor. Bueno, Dios mío, guía mis pensamientos y palabras y que le lleguen a quienes más necesiten este mensaje en tu precioso nombre de Yah. Comenzamos. Shelley inicia la llamada y da la bienvenida a la conferencia telefónica de Estados Unidos. También dice, why, dice, parece que la gente está despertando a la verdad que Yahoshua ha estado trayendo, y él verdaderamente conoce el principio del fin. Entonces, porque es el Hijo de Dios y la información que él ha traído es crítica para todos ustedes en el planeta. Obviamente Shelley dijo que ella no sabe el principio del fin, pero Yahoshua, Dr. Henderson, sí lo sabe. Entonces, continuamos ahí. Dice, actualmente hemos visto el juicio del Padre Yah cayendo por todo el planeta. Por ejemplo, esta semana se está produciendo inundaciones masivas en todos los Estados Unidos. Inundaciones, deslizamientos de tierra en el sur de California. Y las áreas más afectadas son los lugares como Hollywood, Beverly Hills, donde viven estos élites, los pedófilos. También lugares como Bel Air, Malibu, Woodland Hills, Calabasas y todo el condado de Ventura estaba bajo vigilancia de inundaciones. Dice, durante varios años hemos hablado de cómo es necesario desplazarse hacia el interior del país. Y dice, durante los últimos 10 años les hemos dicho a todos que se trasladen hacia el interior, por lo menos 100 millas de las costas. ¿Okay? Dice, los viajes en el espacio y el tiempo en el futuro existen y han existido por más de 50 años. Dice, la nieta de Dwight Eisenhower, que fue uno de los presidentes estadounidenses, dice, sabe que esto es verdad porque ella fue reclutada para ir a uno de esos viajes a través de esas salas de salto, se llaman jump rooms, y viajar al Marte. Y no sé si era el año 2007, pero creo que es lo que es el año. Sin embargo, dice, la colonia de Marte comenzó en los años 1970, por 50 años. También dice, FEMA, la Agencia Federal para el Manejo de Emergencias, se ha estado preparando para la desaparición de una buena parte de California en el océano, debido al terremoto masivo que están esperando, uno supuestamente que va a ser como 9 en el Richter scale. Y bueno, por cada punto más, por ejemplo de 7, es 1000 veces más fuerte. O sea, entonces estamos hablando de, no sé, 2000 veces más fuerte que el 7, que es un terremoto de terremotos. Entonces dice, esto sucederá al oeste de la autopista I-5 o I-5. Los terremotos recientes de 7.0 grados, algunos son provocados por el hombre. Pero el mapa del futuro de la Marina de los Estados Unidos les puede decir exactamente lo que va a pasar. Dice que sugiero que miren eso en Google Maps o lo compren o lo que tengan que hacer, pero que lo encuentren para estar enterados exactamente de lo que están predicando para el futuro de Estados Unidos y de California. También dice que eso va a afectar también hasta Oregon o Washington, entonces todo va hasta arriba. Shelley presenta al Dr. Henderson, Yahoshua Mashiach, el hijo del hombre, el hijo de Dios encarnado. El Dr. Henderson, Yahoshua, acude a la llamada, o llega, atiende a la llamada. Dice, levántate y brilla, ¿cómo me oyes? Dice Shelley, pues te oímos bastante claro, señor. Dice, ok, perfecto. Dice, esto es la llamado de Estados Unidos de América, ¿cierto? Dice, sí, señor. Los que dicen ser los menos informados. Bueno, estoy aquí para informarles a todos en América que es tiempo que se despierte. Y dice, América solo está preocupado por produciendo cambio de monedas. Está esperando para el reinicio, para poder cambiar sus monedas. Estaba hablando de monedas extranjeras como iraquíes, como los dong, como cualquier moneda extranjera, que supuestamente todos nosotros que tenemos esas monedas están esperando para cambiar sus monedas, para supuestamente crear un mundo mejor y ayudar, y supuestamente eso es lo que dicen ustedes que van a hacer. Pero siempre nos ha dicho que ese dinero es ofertas de sangre. Entonces eso no va a suceder. Pero dice, permítame decirles a aquellos de ustedes que tienen dinares iraquíes o cualquier otra moneda que el dinero no se va a cambiar. Porque ese dinero es 99.9% una ofrenda de sangre. Lo que significa que alguien murió para que ustedes obtuvieran esa moneda. Y no se negociará. Dice, lo único que determinará si recibes tu redención dependerá si todavía estás vivo o no. Y siempre ha dicho que si quieres estar vivo, pues tienes que ser identificado. Si no estás identificado, entonces vas a ser calificado como una persona que no productiva. Y si ese es el caso, te van a destruir, te van a matar, te van a eliminar. No hay bonitas maneras para explicar eso, decirlo, pero es así. Dice, todos tendrás que pasar por esto. Todas las cosas que están pasando, toda la profecía. Dice, vas a tener que pasarlo y vas a tener que soportarlo. Y asustáis. Tal vez estás asustado por todas estas cosas que estoy diciendo, porque pues nuestra anfitriona no te lo va a decir directamente así como yo te lo estoy diciendo, pero si te estoy asustando, pues bueno, es lo que es. Entonces digo, si tengo que asustarse, asusto directo para que tomes acción, hagas algo, ¿sabes? Entonces, así lo dejo. También dice, preguntó una pregunta, le preguntó a nuestra anfitriona Shelley, ¿sabes qué es la esperanza de vida de la humanidad en este planeta? Y dice, no lo sé, pero yo sé que tú sí lo sabes, Señor. Entonces, Dr. Henderson, Yahoshua, dice, sí, según sus científicos, dicen que nos quedan 1,000 millones de años antes que el sol hierva y la agua se desaparezca. Y, obvio, nadie puede vivir sin agua. ¿Quién quiere vivir sin agua? Pero dice, sin embargo, ¿sabes cuántos años tiene este planeta? Y dice, no. Dice, nada más te digo que tiene 10 billones de años. Okay. Son 10,000 millones de años, si lo quieren entender así. Pero tal como están sucediendo las cosas, dicen que solo quedan 2,000 años. Pero lo que no entienden es que esos 2,000 años ya vinieron y se fueron. Se calculan realmente en 2,000 años, pero ese tiempo era el año 2000. Y dice, esos idiotas no entendieron qué significaba el año 2000, que ya pasó hace 24 años, o casi 24 años, no sé, 24 años. Y lo que significa es que el año 2000 fue el final para el nuevo comienzo del mundo. Entonces dice, vas a ir el cielo o la tierra va a ser